I mean, you only do it with like storms or every rain?
Not every rain. It has to storm pretty bad. I think the wind's driving it more than anything. And of course, the sea line above, it's between the fish tank and the, I got everything situated around the
You know where
drips.
it's gotta go.
Yeah, so.
Right, everybody ready? Go ahead, Sherry.
Regular meeting of Washington, Missouri City Council, Monday, May 15th, 2023, 7 p.m. Bear,
Here.
Briggs,
Here.
Coulter,
Here.
Heidrich,
Here.
Holtmeyer,
Here.
Patke,
Here.
Reed,
Here.
Wessels.
Here.
Please rise for the pledge of allegiance. Will all the council members answer if they have or have not read the minutes of the council meeting dated May 1st, 2023? Bear,
Yes.
Briggs,
Yes.
Coulter,
Yes.
Heidrich,
Aye.
Holtmeyer,
Aye.
Patke,
Yes.
Reed,
No.
Wessels.
Aye.
Okay.
Unless we want to wait for Councilman Reed, I'll make a motion to approve.
Second.
Roll on.
Got a motion by Patke, second by Wessels. All those in favor say aye.
Aye.
Okay, minutes are approved.
Approval and adjustment of agenda, including consent agenda. You have the collector's treasurer's report summary for January 2023, investment report, January 2023, change order number 1, 2, and 3 for Rabbit Trail Extension, and liquor license renewals.
I'll make a motion.
Can we just get an explanation on the Rabbit Trail extension?
Yes, please.
So, what's in your, I'll do my best, and then if Charles can help any part of it, was increased, the change order 1 includes, you had unsuitable soil in the street, and they replaced that with compacted soil, increasing the contract by $4,900 approximately. Change order number 2 includes half land disturbance permit cost share and extension of existing stormwater pipe to the new creek crossing, increasing the contract by an additional $4,300. And then the last one was change order number 3 was for additional unsuitable soil in the street replaced with type 5 rock and extra street length, which led to an overrun of concrete street, rock base, and street fabric. So change order 3 increased the contract by $23,871.82. So the total project cost for the Rabbit Trail extension is $696, $230, and 82 cents.
What does that mean, unsuitable soil in the street?
You got a bad base, you know, it's not solid,
Not tight,
it's wet.
not solid.
You know, you gotta dig that out.
Gotta dig it out, replace it with rock.
Compaction. Okay.
That's where most of the change is there, most of the money, the cost.
Other questions, guys?
Make a motion.
Motion by Holtmeyer,
Second.
second by Patke. To approve the consent agenda. All those in favor say aye.
Aye.
Motion passes.
Priority items, mayor's presentations, appointments, and reappointments, proclamation, Bicycle Safety Week.
I do.
We do.
Hey. Okay, Mayor's Proclamation number 1, Bicycle Safety Week is this week. Whereas the bicycle is a viable and environmentally sound form of transportation and an excellent form of recreation, and whereas millions of Missourians will experience the joys of bicycling during the month of May through educational programs, races, commuting events, trail work days, helmet promotion, charity events, or just getting out and going for a ride. And whereas creating bicycle-friendly communities has been shown to improve citizens' health, well-being, and quality of life, to boost community spirit, to improve traffic safety, reduce pollution and congestion, and wear and tear on our streets and roads. And whereas the education of bicyclists and motorcyclists and motorists to the proper and safe operation of bicycles is important to ensure the safety and comfort of all users. And whereas the Washington Police Department, together with other members of the community, will host the 47th Annual Bicycle Safety Rodeo on 20 May to promote greater public awareness of bicycle operation and safety education in an effort to reduce collisions, injuries, and fatalities and improve health and safety for everyone on the road. Now, therefore, in recognition of the health, safety, and welfare of its residents are the most valuable asset of any city, I, James D. Hagedorn, Mayor, proclaim May 15th through 20th as Bicycle Safety Week in the city of Washington and encourage all residents to enjoy the benefits of bicycling, recognize the importance of bicycle safety, and be more aware of cyclists on our streets. Thank you, ladies, for accepting.
Proclamation, National Public Works Week.
All right, thanks, Kevin. National Public Works Week, May 21 through 27. Whereas Public Works employees focus on infrastructure, facilities, and services that are of vital importance to sustainable and resilient communities and to the public health, high quality of life, and well-being of our residents, business leaders, and civic organizations in the city of Washington. And whereas these infrastructures, facilities, and services could not be provided without the dedicated efforts of Public Works employees who are responsible for rebuilding, improving, and protecting transportation, public buildings, and other structures and facilities essential for our residents. And whereas it is in the public interest of our residents, business leaders, and civic organizations to gain knowledge of and maintain an ongoing interest and understanding of the importance of public works and public works programs in the community. And whereas the American Public Works Association has celebrated the annual National Public Works Week since 1960, and this year's theme is Connecting the World Through Public Works. Now, therefore, I, James D. Hagedorn, Mayor of the City of Washington, do hereby proclaim the week of May 21 through 27 as National Public Works Week in the City of Washington. And during this 63rd Annual National Public Works Week, I call upon all residents, business leaders, and civic organizations to acquaint themselves with the issues involved in providing and maintaining our public works infrastructure, and to recognize the contributions which public work employees make every day to our health, safety, comfort, and quality of life. Thank you, Kevin.
Proclamation, National Travel and Tourism Week.
I am. Okay, last one is the National Travel and Tourism Week. May 7th through the 13th is actually last week, but that's okay. Whereas travel, hospitality, and recreation reflect the power of our travel and our community's economic prosperity in Washington, Missouri, and whereas the tourism industry in Washington is steadfast and flourishing with record-setting overnight visits in 2022, and whereas Washington's hospitality and travel industry continues to thrive with additional business and leisure travel, meetings and events, and utilization of the Amtrak Missouri River Runner, and whereas our hospitality and tourism businesses are a representation of small business and are the foundation that make Washington an unforgettable destination, and are dependent and grateful for our community's steadfast support. And whereas Washington continues to thrive with the blend of historical nature as well as a modern touch throughout our community, and portrays an ever-growing and lively downtown district that offers amusement for our out-of-town guests, and whereas visitors enjoy Washington as the heart of Missouri wine country, overlooking the Missouri River, experience Barbecue and Blues Fest, Art Fair and Wine Fest, Cajun Fest, Town and Country Fair, Fall Festival of the Arts and Crafts, holiday parade of lights, hiking and biking trails, and numerous live music events. And whereas Washington offers unique and incomparable opportunities for recreation with outstanding parks, breathtaking views, exceptional dining, shopping, experience-driven activities, tasting rooms, and museums. And whereas the power of travel and tourism will help in the growth of Washington, Missouri, it is imperative to move us forward to a more prosperous future. Now, therefore, I, James T. Hagedorn, Mayor of the Washington City of Missouri, do hereby proclaim May 7th through the 13th as National Travel and Tourism Week in the city of Washington, and urge all our citizens to join me in this special observance. Thank you, Madam.
Police Department reappointment.
Good evening, council. Up for reappointment is a longtime Washington officer, Sergeant Joe Kapuska. He has been with us for a long time and continues to do a great job for us, so I recommend him for reappointment.
I'll make a motion.
Second.
Motion, Mark, you made that, didn't you?
Hydrich, yes.
Motion by Hydrant, second by Patke. All those in favor say aye.
Aye.
Motion passes. Welcome back, Joe. I don't think he's here tonight.
That's okay.
I know he's
Urban Forestry Council appointment.
Council members, I hereby submit for your approval the following for appointment to the Urban Forestry Council. He's here tonight, Harvey Mendez. If you want, absolutely.
So, before I start, I want to give a big thanks to Councilman Bear and Councilman Packey for helping me out get that signage pass for the All Abilities Park. So, Park Department did approve it last week. So, this week, the JCs are gonna have a meeting, and then we're gonna get the signs made. We're gonna get 2 signs made, one by the restroom entrance, and then the other one by the parking lot entrance up there. So thank you so much for making that happen. It means a lot to me, and it means a lot to the taxpayers of Washington for, allowing those certain individuals to be, utilizing the park as they should, And when it comes to this council position, it's like I said in the beginning, I want to make a difference. But then again, I was told I don't need to make a difference. I'm a Marine. I already make a difference by just being here. So, so hopefully I can get your approval, and I can help the city of Washington become a better place to live and for everybody to enjoy. Thank you.
Thanks, Harvey.
I'll make a motion. Second.
Motion by Hydrich, second by Bear. All those in favor say aye.
Aye.
Aye. Welcome, Harvey. Cool.
Public hearings, voluntary annexation, 19.7 acres, Beaker Road.
So you can see with the map that we've got up here on the screen or whatever, I'll go through some of these slides. What you see that's highlighted are the 2 parcels that are 2 tracts that total 19.7 acres. And this is just, as you can see, just southeast of what was the Clay Camp Farm. This is the Coke Farm, down another portion of the Coke Farm down there off of Beaker Road. See if this goes through. Leave it up to me. It doesn't work for me. Here, click. There you go. The next, and you can see some of the areas that's already been part of the city limits. You can see where the municipal limit lines are on this map or whatever, and just shows you it's contiguous to this last phase that reached down to from Rabbit Trail Drive down to Beaker. And then there's the exhibit that shows all of the 19.7 acres. And then part of what this will allow for is as we've discussed in a previous council meeting with the agreement that we had to go ahead and move forward with the East-West Parkway roadway. I thought there was an exhibit. Yeah, there we go. And you see down here, is basically the portion, the East-West Parkway roadway. And the portion that we're looking at going ahead and building is right down here. So that would be for the, out there, as you can see, hold on. Thing's a little touchy. There's Beaker Road. And so this is the portion of the roadway that'll be built for that first portion of that subdivision, and then it'll be dedicated. So you got about 1,700 linear feet of street that will be dedicated, and the other 1,100 linear feet will be actually built, and it'll be a 40-foot wide roadway with the ability to go ahead and add an additional 12-foot lane in the future, as well as a bike lane, et cetera, if we want to do that at a later date. So this is the first phase of a subdivision that's actually where we as a city actually worked with the developer to go ahead and get this East-West Parkway roadway built. They've incorporated it into their design, so. And I think, is there something else on there later for this or not, or is that?
Yes, later.
So you got, and you'll see a preliminary plat approval for Stonebridge development. You'll see how those subdivision, how those lots will be affected with this first phase for this annexation. That's all I have, other than the fact of they're proposing to go ahead and bring it in as single-family zoning. R1D is the zoning district that allows lots down to 7,500 square feet.
And it is contiguous on that little,
Yep.
the other picture, that little
back.
small section there.
Right there, actually, I should have, there you go. It's contiguous right here. Because this is already in the city limits.
Okay.
What's the subdivision to the right that's approaching?
That's Stonecrest.
That's Stonecrest?
That's the early version, that's the first phase of Stonecrest there at the very bottom, and up there towards the top is phase 2.
Okay.
That's all I have, unless you have any other questions.
Public comments.
There is public hearing, so you want to ask if the public wants to have any comments?
Would anyone in the audience like to come up and comment about the annexation? Okay, thank you. Go ahead.
Need to.
Make a motion to accept in the minutes.
I'll second that.
Motion by Patke, second by Briggs to accept it into the minutes. Any further discussion, you guys? All those in favor, say aye.
Aye.
Motion passes. Sherry?
An ordinance annexing 19.7 acres off Beaker Road as R1D single-family residential into the city of Washington and Franklin County, Missouri.
Patke.
Introduced by Patke.
This is just the ordinance that goes ahead and will annex the property into the city limits.
Okay. Other questions? I'll accept the motion.
Nope, should roll call.
Roll call. Great.
Should be a second reading, correct?
Yes, she will.
An ordinance annexing 19.7 acres off Beaker Road as R1D single-family residential into the city of Washington, Franklin County, Missouri. Reed,
Yes.
Briggs,
Yes.
Holtmeyer,
Aye.
Patke,
Yes.
Coulter,
Yes.
Heidrich,
Aye.
Wessels,
Aye.
Bear.
Yes.
By your vote, the ordinance passes.
Citizens' comments?
Would anyone in the audience like to make a comment? Okay. Go ahead, Sherry.
Ordinances and resolutions. An ordinance accepting the proposal from Wonderlook Surveying and Engineering, Inc. for engineering design services for the East-West Parkway project.
Heidrich.
Introduced by Heidrich.
So this is becoming the meeting to get your first phase of East-West Parkway built. So this is the ordinance for the design services with Wonderlook Surveying and Engineering. They were the design consultant for the development for Stonebridge. We've worked with them. They're the ones that laid out where we've included the portion that the city was going to purchase for the East-West Parkway roadway. As you can see, you've got the purchase that was already approved in that agreement for $351,200. Roadway design, which is what this ordinance here covers, is the $39,435. And then you've got an estimate there on the roadway construction of $416,850. This ordinance, though, is just to go ahead and enter into a contract with Washington Surveying and Engineering to go ahead and get the design started.
Does this design, in that picture, can we get that picture up there? that
Yeah,
we
which
have
one?
here? That picture of the roadway that
Let me see. I don't know
Wonderlic,
if he's
yeah,
got that exhibit. Do you know if that's on another
Keep
presentation?
going, there's one with Stonebridge, but
Yeah, go ahead and pull up the one from Stonebridge.
Well, what I'm asking
Sure.
is whether or not this design from Wonderlic goes beyond the 35 lot
It does.
development.
It does.
It goes beyond that.
Yes. So if you see in this exhibit, that's what I was mentioning earlier. That's the portion that goes all the way to the edge of the property that goes 1,700 feet.
Okay.
So the design is there, but we're only building the portion that goes up to approximately 1,100 linear feet.
And that's as far as his 35 lots will go.
Correct, at this time. You'll see that in that other slide later.
Darren, will this be the precedence of the additional East-West Parkway?
Yeah, I mean,
Bonding and-
I think it sets a good precedence for us. I mean, if the city wants this type of roadway to go ahead and be included, certainly it helps if we control that by purchasing that from the developer at the time when they come in. In this case, Vic came in, had it just laid out, basically the design, really didn't know much about the East-West Parkway roadway, but, you know, then they went back, like I said, we spent a month going back and forth with trying to, thank you, he's got the slide up now. That's where that's shown. If you look at the next slide, you can see where that ends right there, Mark.
So the dark gray is going to be the end of what?
Dark gray is going to be end of what gets built, and then this will be designed all the way back to this portion right there.
And that design that's not being built, that design, is that in with our new recent annexation?
Yes.
That's within city limits?
Yes, sir.
Okay, all right.
Absolutely. Back to your question, Jeff, I mean, I hope I answered it. I mean, yeah, I think, you know, it's a matter of the city's gonna have to go ahead and acquire the right-of-way, work with the developer on the design, how it affects their developments as they come in. Luckily, with this one, we were able to go ahead and incorporate that and get this phase of where his street's going to enter into it right here.
Right.
And the other thing that helps us is with, if you'll remember that agreement that we had, is that we can also control the access. We do not want driveways coming off of this roadway.
Correct. That's the main reason, or
Yep.
an additional.
So that's where I think it's probably in the city's best interest when we get to this point, as a development, comes to us, to go ahead and acquire that, just for that purpose of, we can control that access.
We'll own that other part though, too, right, already?
Yeah, exactly.
So I guess the reason my question is that
Sure.
if any developer, whether it's, Mr. Horskamp or someone else wants to go further to the east, or now we have the option to go to the west also.
Correct.
Are we in a position where we're gonna be able to buy that right of way and build that roadway for another developer, whether that's in 6 months or 6 years?
Well, obviously-
We need to keep, again, in other words, my word is precedence. We set a precedence to do this, and we wanna build this roadway to 47 sooner than later. And we have the ability to do that.
Yes, the only thing you would have are, budget constraints. Fortunately for us in this, we had another project. Actually, the connection that we were going to make between Rabbit Trail Drive and Earthcrest that we had been in discussions and negotiations with, since that did not come to fruition or whatever, we were able to go ahead and utilize these funds to go ahead and get this built.
Right.
Or get it designed for it to get
Right.
built.
No, I think it's a great thing, and it's a start, even though it is in the middle, it still is a good start to go. It's just where the developing is happening, so. But I just, again, my vision is to see that go to the east, and at least connect close to Stonecrest and then also, again, back to the west of 47, that's the whole idea.
You've got three other portions that are just not ready to be built like this one. You've got, if you go a little bit further to the west, we've had some discussions with those properties where this roadway actually connects with 47, or that intersection.
Right.
So we've had some preliminary discussions with that. We were notified that in the county that there was a development off of Country Club Road out there that would probably get, I don't know, I'd say probably the first 1,000 feet from Highway A going east. At least get it in the conceptual design or whatever. I mean, not designed to the point of ready to build a roadway, but at least drawn in. And then you've always had High Street as that continues south. That's also a portion of that. So if you go back to that map that we had earlier, Charles, you don't have to do it, but I mean that, there you go. He's got it. Go back to that one. There you go. As you can see, that roadway goes all the way through, starting, so the rest of the public knows, continues south, intersects with here. You might have to make some provisions here to just maybe get just right here at Chamber Drive. That may be as important of a connection as anything to get this all the way from A to 100. But then you also have Highway A, and then this is where we're talking about picking it up for the rest of the way south as stuff develops.
Questions, comments, guys? We wouldn't do this. My grandchildren live over in Wentzville, a place called Duello, where the roads are mishmash, traffic is atrocious, and they're trying to catch up. This keeps us ahead of the game.
This has been in the planning from its initial concept was back in 1984 to put in an East-West Parkway roadway.
Well, this map has been looked at a couple hundred times sitting here, so
Absolutely.
we've stuck with it. So again, I'm all for it, not questioning against it, just a matter of starting in the middle, but we're ready to go both ways.
That's right.
Thank you.
They have a second reading?
Okay.
An ordinance accepting the proposal from Wunderlich Surveying and Engineering, Inc. for engineering design services for the East-West Parkway project. Reed?
Yes.
Briggs?
Yes.
Holtmeyer?
Aye.
Patke?
Yes.
Coulter?
Yes.
Heidrich?
Aye.
Wessels?
Aye.
Bear?
Yes.
Thank you, guys. Ordinance passes.
An ordinance authorizing and directing the city of Washington, Missouri to enter into a sales contract between Lou Hughes Ford, Chesterfield, Missouri for the purchase of one 2023 Ford Police Interceptor Sport utility vehicle.
Hydrich.
Introduced by Heidrich.
In your package, you have a letter from me requesting the purchase of a new Ford Interceptor vehicle. If you recall, back in December, we had a vehicle involved in a crash. It was hit by an ambulance, Union ambulance, and it was totaled. So we finally received the funds for that through the insurance payout. The funds were a little short because obviously it was based on a 2020 vehicle. So after evaluating everything, it was the best course of action was to purchase a new vehicle. We're going to use all the equipment from the crashed vehicle to put into the new vehicle, so that's why we went with a Ford this time instead of the Dodge that we're looking at. Other than that, it'll be ready to go. So I'm requesting to purchase that. Any questions?
Okay.
An ordinance authorizing and directing the city of Washington, Missouri to enter into a sales contract between Lou Hughes Ford, Chesterfield, Missouri for the purchase of one 2023 Ford Police Interceptor Sport utility vehicle. Reed?
Yes.
Briggs?
Yes.
Holtmeyer? Patke?
Yes.
Coulter?
Yes.
Heidrich?
Aye.
Wessels?
Aye.
Bear?
Yes.
By your vote, the ordinance passes. Go get yourself a new SUV,
Thank
Jim.
An ordinance amending Chapter 335, Schedule 2 of the Code of the City of Washington, Missouri by adding provisions for a stop sign at the locations described below.
Holtmeyer.
Who introduced? I'm sorry? Joe?
Joe.
Introduced by Holtmeyer.
You've got various locations where they're adding these stop signs. A lot of these are in that development that we're looking at, or in that general neighborhood down there in the southeast part of town. But you also, it looks like, and I don't know, Charles, if you or Jim want to discuss the other ones. I think you got Elm Street, approaching West 4th Street.
Yeah, 4th and Elm, we took a look at that. There's been complaints over the years, but there was a recent complaint, we went back and looked at crash history. There was one crash there, but mostly that the downtown all has four-way stops pretty much everywhere, 4th down, except at 4th and Elm there. So it can be a blind spot, especially when cars are parked there. So we thought it'd be the safest to make that a four-way stop. so adding stop signs north and south.
Discussion? Okay, go ahead, Sherry.
An ordinance amending Chapter 335, Schedule 2 of the Code of the City of Washington, Missouri by adding provisions for a stop sign at the locations described below. Bear?
Yes.
Wessels?
Aye.
Heidrich?
Aye.
Coulter?
Yes.
Patke?
Yes.
Holtmeyer?
Aye.
Briggs?
Yes.
Reed?
Yes.
Okay, by your vote, the ordinance passes. 7D, please.
An ordinance amending Schedule 4, no parking at any time of the Code of the City of Washington, Missouri.
Bear.
Introduced by Bear.
This is no parking at any time along South Bend Drive. I think this is to take care of the curve that's up there at South Bend Drive, especially when you get situations with the new ball fields and you got parking going
Yes,
up
we've
there.
received complaints, and that is a tight curve, so it just made sense to make that no parking in that area.
I'd just like to say thanks for the timely matter. I mean, went to traffic. We talked about it here, went to traffic, comes back, we get it approved. When it's the right thing to do, we do it in a timely manner. That makes good sense. So thanks to those people involved. Thanks.
Okay,
An ordinance amending Schedule 4, no parking at any time of the Code of the City of Washington, Missouri. Reed?
Yes.
Briggs?
Yes.
Holtmeyer?
Aye.
Patke?
Yes.
Coulter?
Yes.
Heidrich?
Aye.
Wessels?
Aye.
Bear?
Yes.
by your vote, ordinance 7D passes. 7E, please.
An ordinance rezoning 1322 East Fifth Street from R1B Single Family Residential to C1 Light Commercial in the City of Washington, Franklin County, Missouri.
Patke.
Introduced by Patke.
So this is the ordinance that follows the public hearing that we had back on May 1st. And at that time, we did not have the ordinance in front of you at that time because we needed to go ahead and check to see if the signatures that were submitted with that opposing the rezoning totaled 30% or more for a supermajority of council vote. We verified that they do not, so that it's just a simple majority vote by you as council to go ahead and rezone it if you choose to do so.
Yes, I have a couple comments. Yeah, the picture, can we get that one up there too?
Yeah, can you pull up Charles? I don't know if we had that on a slide. You may have to go ahead and pull that up off of.
Well, while he's doing
GIS.
that, there, about 2 years ago, give or take, the council approved the lot across the street from this lot to be rezoned from residential over to commercial. The only one in the area. And that was against the recommendation of our staff, and it was against a unanimous vote of P&Z. The council, though, that night heard a good presentation by a young lady concerning a snow cone stand for the kids in the neighborhood. And so the council said, well, let's do that. I disagreed with that vote at the time because I felt like it was not in keeping at all with the zoning code that we had asked P&Z to establish. But it was done. So we have that one commercial lot sitting in the middle of this space, sitting all by itself. This one comes in and asking something somewhat similar, but coming in, and part of it, I think, was because there is now one zone commercial across the street from it. Well, I don't think that one should be. And I notice in our recommendations from staff tonight, they are suggesting we go back and fix that, but I don't know what that takes. I do think, though, that this, we don't need to compound what I think was a mistake back then. And once again, the staff is recommending against this. And even though P&Z approved it, they approved it on a 5-2. I think part of the reason they approved it, I'm just guessing, is the fact that we overturned theirs on the one before that with a 2/3 vote. I don't think we should approve this rezoning. And I don't know what it takes, as I said, but I also would consider what the staff has recommended and going back and correcting the other one that I think was a mistake. Okay.
Thank you, Mark.
Are we there now?
Other comments, you guys?
Mark, I listened to you, as I sat in for the mayor at the planning and zoning meeting, and it wasn't a matter, I mean, it wasn't brought up that next door was commercial in the planning and zoning meeting. That really wasn't part of the discussion at all. More so, it was just, here's a piece of property that is sitting vacant, that could be a restored historical building as a use. As far as I remember, I don't remember anybody ever living there, and now, like I said, windows are boarded up, things like that. So, I think the intention is to use the piece of property, keep the historic structure, fix up what is there, keep it as a small office building, professional building. And Sal explained it too. It's not where it's going to be heavy commercial. It won't be able to be a gas station. They'll have to have a special use permit before we have that. Anything with a drive-through would require a special use permit, et cetera. So my understanding, my opinion is that it's better use for the property because I think it would enhance the neighborhood. The young lady who lived catty corner across that spoke at the meeting, and then I seen her at a different event, and we discussed it. And she said, she's still against it, because it's their neighborhood, but understood that there is commercial up and down Fifth Street, and it would fit. And again, my opinion is I think it would make the neighborhood actually better. To the contrary, I think even property value better.
But that shows the good picture, I think. That's the one that we did a couple of years ago.
Right.
Right in the middle of this whole residential area.
This one? Yeah, just what's the zoning on that? It is C1? Okay.
Yes.
It's just got a different color.
We did that a couple years ago. It was residential. And we did that, and I believe we did it, I shouldn't speak. I don't know why, I think I know why the council did it. The lady came up, and she had a similar kind of thing, All the kids in the neighborhood were gonna come and be able to get a snow cone. That still hasn't happened, by the way. We still don't know what will go on that lot. We don't know what's gonna go on that lot eventually, because it is zoned commercial. And to me, that was unfortunate. To jump across the street and do it again,
Can he talk? Can Cowboy talk? I mean,
It's not a public hearing.
Not-
This is just a discussion amongst the council.
Okay.
As we open that up, then you open it up for,
I got you.
And he spoke, he spoke to us last meeting, and I understand what he's saying, and I have no question that he would do a good job. That's not my point. I just, like I said, we go to our committees, we go to our various commissions, and we ask them to put something together for us. They do it. I don't see how we so easily flip it over and go against what they have recommended. Okay? Whenever I look at the zoning, I see that red thing as a sore spot to me. I don't know. To put another one there wouldn't make sense. But it's my opinion.
Other comments, guys? Okay, go ahead, Sherry.
An ordinance rezoning 1322 East Fifth Street from R1B Single Family Residential to C1 Light Commercial in the city of Washington, Franklin County, Missouri. Reed?
Yes.
Briggs?
No.
Holtmeyer?
Yes.
Patke?
Yes.
Coulter?
Yes.
Hydrich?
Aye.
Wessels?
no.
Bear?
Yes.
By your vote, ordinance 7E passes. 7F, Jerry, please.
An ordinance approving a boundary adjustment for the re-subdivision of lots 12 and 13 of Stevenson's addition and part of lots 10 and 11 for Charles Smith's addition in the city of Washington, Franklin County, Missouri.
Look at it, take that one down, Charles, and then,
Introduced it?
I'm sorry.
Padkey.
Thank you.
Introduced by Patke.
There it is. So you've got a lot line adjustment at that intersection of Olive Street and Horn. There is a small portion that they'd like to go ahead and switch. If you can see how that line divides it, the two lots, I think this next one shows, you can see there's that blue area that they'd like to go ahead. They'd move that lot line over to the west, and then so that makes a straighter line with regards to that. And so that's the adjustment between these two lots.
Comments? Okay.
An ordinance approving a boundary adjustment for the re-subdivision of lots 12 and 13 of Stevenson's addition and part of lots 10 and 11 of Charles Schmidt's addition in the city of Washington, Franklin County, Missouri. Reed?
Yes.
Briggs?
Yes.
Holtmeyer?
Aye.
Patke?
Yes.
Coulter?
Yes.
Heidrich?
Aye.
Wessels?
Aye.
Bear?
Yes.
By your vote, 7F passes. 7G, please.
An ordinance approving a boundary adjustment for the meadow at Coke Farm, Plat 4 in the city of Washington, Franklin County, Missouri.
Hydrich.
Introduced by Heidrich.
Again, you've got a boundary line adjustment that's barely noticeable, actually, on the plat that you have. It starts out at the top by Coke Lane, continues south, but you're basically looking at, by the time it gets all the way down to the south where it hits Rabbit Trail Drive, it goes back into the same spot where that corner was set. But at the top, it just moves it over like 1.5 feet, which is like up here. So you can see it's just like a narrow sliver that eventually comes right into that.
Why are they changing that?
I think it was just, there was a, I don't know if there was a structure or something that was built that moved that much closer, so it just, they can go ahead and fix the problem. Meets the code as far as your subdivision code, meeting the lot lines and everything else, so no reason not to approve it.
No further questions? Go ahead, Sherry.
An ordinance approving a boundary adjustment for the meadow at Coke Farm, Plat 4 in the city of Washington, Franklin County, Missouri. Reed?
Yes.
Briggs?
Yes.
Holtmeyer?
Aye.
Patke?
Yes.
Coulter?
Yes.
Heidrich?
Aye.
Wessels?
Aye.
Bear?
Yes.
By your vote, 7G passes. 7H, please.
An ordinance approving a boundary adjustment for Stonecrest subdivision, Plat 19 in the city of Washington, Franklin County, Missouri.
Hydrich.
Introduced by Heidrich.
So lot 129, which is down here just south of English Crest Drive, they also own this piece of property now in here. So if you look to the next slide, what they're looking at doing is moving their lot line from there here. I don't know how many feet that is. I'm trying to look.
30.
30, thank you. Yeah, I see it now, 30. 30 feet over to the west to be included with lot 29 and taken from that remaining tract that exists right here. So the blue area is added to lot 129A. Or lot 129 will be 129A.
Discussion? Go ahead.
An ordinance approving a boundary adjustment for Stonecrest subdivision, Plat 19 in the city of Washington, Franklin County, Missouri. Reed?
Yes.
Briggs?
Yes.
Holtmeyer?
Aye.
Patke?
Yes.
Coulter?
Yes.
Heidrich?
Aye.
Wessels?
Aye.
Bear?
Yes.
By your vote, ordinance 7H passes. 8.
Commission, committee, and board reports. Preliminary plat approval, Stone Bridge Development.
So thank you, Charles got it back up. So you will see that this is the preliminary plat for Stonebridge Development. That's the name of the subdivision. It's 35 lots. This is where it will intersect with the new East-West Parkway roadway for one, or at least one access point for there. If I go to the next slide, you'll see there's the termination of where the East-West Parkway roadway will terminate, and this road will continue and go further north. So if you guys out there, there's the East-West Parkway roadway as we showed earlier, and then Coke Kettle Drive will go to the north to continue on in the subdivision. What you have on the, you've got two cul-de-sacs coming off, and that first one, check my notes, the western portion, which is the one that I've got showing up on the thing, that will be a 30-foot wide roadway because your code allows it based on the number of lots that are there. On the east side, you will have a 35-foot wide street because due to the fact of the number of lots that are coming off of the cul-de-sac. So that is allowed within your code. It's R1D zoning, which is what we talked about earlier with the when it was annexed in. And this is the first phase of Stonebridge. So they will have access to East-West Parkway roadway as it's built. Oops, hit the wrong button, Darren. There we go. The East-West Parkway roadway as it's built, and it goes all the way back over to Beaker. And that will be access for the subdivision until this opens up to the north.
But it won't go to the north on that cul-de-sac, will it? It'll
No,
go on the other
it'll
one.
go on the next
On
one.
the other one, right, okay, sorry.
Oops.
Yeah.
Insensitive. Come
So-
on. Stay there. There we go.
So the one to
yeah,
the
you
west
see
is
that.
just gonna be its own,
Put a deck out of your basement.
it's gonna be kind of its own island there.
Yeah.
Right.
It'll be its own cul-de-sac off of East-West Parkway roadway.
Right, okay,
Yep.
right.
And this is preliminary plat only. They'll come in, they'll have to come back to you for a final plat at a later date.
Discussion?
It's gonna be too many people in Ward 2. I don't think they're gonna be able to handle that.
We will adjust that according to the census when that comes out.
Councilman, we'll have 3 councilmen.
I'll make a motion to accept it in.
Second.
Motion by Bear, second by Holtmeyer to accept it into the minutes.
All those in favor?
All those in favor, say aye.
Aye.
Motion passes.
An ordinance approving the final plat of Meriwether Estates, Plat 6 in the city of Washington, Franklin County, Missouri.
Patkey.
Introduced by Patke.
Again, this is a follow-up as a subdivision plat for R1C zoning up there on Coulter Court. There's several duplexes up there. I believe this is one of the last ones to go ahead and have that.
This is one you can't sell half of a duplex.
Right.
Well, this is one where you have problems unless you got cash. Cash is king.
Okay.
An ordinance approving the final plat of Meriwether Estates, Plat 6 in the city of Washington, Franklin County, Missouri. Reed,
Yes.
Briggs,
Yes.
Holtmeyer,
Aye.
Patke,
Yes.
Coulter,
Yes.
Hydrich,
Aye.
Wessels,
Aye.
Bear.
Yes.
By your vote, ordinance 8B passes. 8C, please.
An ordinance approving the final plat of the Creek at Coke Farm, Plat 2 in the city of Washington, Franklin County, Missouri.
Hydrich.
Introduced by Hydrich.
So this is the final plat of the creek at Coke Farm, Plat 2. This is adjacent to the development that we were looking at earlier. That's right in this area. You have another one on there, I think, somewhere that looks like this, Charles? I don't know if it's in there. Here, let me see if I can do it. Nope. I think you gotta go to another one. But basically what you have this all comes off of Rabbit Trail Drive. There's 3 cul-de-sac lots that are being platted with this final plat. And they're all coming off of Rabbit Trail Drive, just like we said as well. We did a development agreement for the extension of Rabbit Trail Drive as well, so that we did not have driveways coming off of there. And so that was a street that would go all the way through on Beaker, so.
How many lots they have in there now? What,
I think with this one,
68 on that one.
thank you. But it's picking it up at lot 43, so because you had previous plats, you had a
25,
plat
yeah.
1, yeah.
Okay.
The previous one.
And it's R1D zoning, which is the 7,500 square foot lot.
Okay.
Been out there.
Further questions or discussions, you guys? Okay, go ahead, Sherry.
An ordinance approving the final plat of the Creek at Coke Farm, Plat 2 in the city of Washington, Franklin County, Missouri. Reed,
Yes.
Briggs,
Yes.
Holtmeyer,
Aye.
Patke,
Yes.
Coulter,
Yes.
Hydrich,
Aye.
Wessels,
Aye.
Bear.
Yes.
By your vote, ordinance 8C passes.
Mayor's report.
Let's see. Next month, you guys, the June 19th meeting has been rescheduled to Tuesday, June the 20th,
Due to the holiday.
due to the holiday, the Juneteenth holiday. Other than that, it's been crazy busy lately, but things going well with the city. Thank you.
City Administrator's report.
No report, but I do have a quick item for you in executive session. So,
Council comments.
Your Honor, we received an email, I think, today, I guess from Sherry, as far as board appointments. I know there's a lot of changes going on. Would you speak just to that and kind of what's been?
Absolutely.
the
Absolutely. If you guys know me, I'm big on successorship, which means not exactly choosing your successor, but making sure that if something happens to you, you leave, or you die on the road or whatever, your organization doesn't follow or doesn't lose its way. Some of our committees are, have been populated by people who have been there a long, long time, which is really good to have that level of experience. I'm very lucky to have that. But at some point, we need to have some new people in there so that, for instance, Sylvia Cerruti-Wacker is an excellent example. She's not going anywhere, but I've replaced her with a younger, quite frankly, very inexperienced, very talented Rocco Gonzalez. He's going to learn, and if something happens to somebody else on that committee, on the P&Z, I bet you my bottom dollar that Sylvia would, or Samantha would step right in. So I'm trying to increase the amount of experience that we have across the board by appointing new people. And, you know, if we want to talk about it, I'm okay with that. But that's the method of my madness.
And I appreciate that, and I should talk to you this in person, I guess, but I wanted to bring it up tonight. I think everyone has talked about it. There are certain boards who there are people out there who have been on a long time, some who don't attend regularly or whatever.
Right.
And some of those, I think, could be looked at a little bit more. And I guess I would love to have the attention from a park board standpoint of being on it for 10 years, you know, just the input back. You know, I mean, who goes to the meetings, who sits back, doesn't say anything, you know, those kind of things. Maybe we could look at somebody to replace there. And then who we want, you know, like a fair board representative, you know, someone who's out of the city. You know, there's different things like that.
Sure.
And then I also think, like I said, the planning and zoning, Rocco's in. Spoke to him after the meeting last time. You know, he's all in to learn and do it. So that's great. I know there's a reappointment for 353. There's a few on there who are at, if there was such thing as term limits, it would be there. So I think there's people out there who would be willing to step into that role.
Sure.
It's just a matter, maybe all of them have to be looked at as far as that goes, I guess. So I guess my suggestion would be is look to your councilman for that little bit of
I have to
insight
agree, Jeff, and if
for
I
the
could,
liaison standpoint.
if I could do a better job of that, I will next time.
That's fine.
So we can talk about that next time it happens, or if there's a need going forward.
And in the same token, for those who are on new liaison committees, I think sometimes we need a refresher course, and I think this may go back to Mark too, but like if a park liaison, I don't vote on the park board. But if you are an elected member of planning and zoning, you are a voting member. So some of those are just, there's different ways, and I know sometimes there's questions there. Sometimes someone just says aye at a meeting and it counts as a vote. You're not part of the quorum, you know, that kind of thing. So sometimes those questions need to be answered. If you're unsure about that, go back so we don't, you know, so we don't get a vote at a meeting when we aren't supposed to, I guess.
yeah, absolutely. Go ahead and ask, and we'll definitely go ahead and get you an answer. But like, I will say, like for 353 Redevelopment Corporation, for example, those appointments for directors on that board don't come before this council. You guys get to vote, though, on who as a council member you want to go ahead and vote for, and then the mayor also gets a pick on that board. But the rest of those are decided by the board members of the 353. So that's
So the email
so
we got
all of them
today-
are a little bit, they've got their, you know, they've got their quirks with regards to, but I just want to make sure that that's an example of one that you guys don't get to vote on those as they come through, those other directors, but you do get to go ahead, and that's why it was set up so that you'd have 2 council representatives on that board, and you do get to vote, as far as I know, on 353 because you are
Yes.
then directors.
And that, just to jump on the back of this,
the mayor and I had a discussion last week about these very things. One of my suggestions to him, and I didn't come to you yet, Darren, I think we need to look at what we've got listed on our own website. Doesn't necessarily agree in some cases. For instance, right now it says there's one of us as a liaison to Parks Board, and Jeff and I both sit on it. Things that we can clean up and do a better understanding. There was a lot of us new guys last year that were saying, do we vote here? Do we not vote here? And, you know, I asked you that a few times at few different meetings. So I think we just need to spend a little time cleaning that up while we can.
We shall.
So 353, Al was voted in as to serve on 353 from the council.
Correct.
He gets to vote.
Correct.
But Joe is appointed as a liaison, so does not vote. Am I correct in that?
No.
No.
The
according
mayor
to-
gets to make an appointment, and the mayor made the, I can't remember, did you,
Aren't you,
Joe?
Joe?
Yeah.
Yeah.
Okay, so
it's-
his appointment, so Joe gets to vote, and so does Al. You're both voting
According
members.
does vote on 353.
Yes.
Okay.
And we asked this last year and looked at because 353 Corporation has its own bylaws, so.
That's
we
right.
went through
That's the
that,
reason
and
why,
That's fine.
It shows that
They
we are
do
voting
ha-
members there. If you look at the park board, we are not voting members according to what we list on our,
Right.
on our own webpage, and I get that. It says we shouldn't be voting members as an elected person. It should be the public, you know, or put on to the commission, being the voting members there. And then, of course, you know, Mr. Waymeyer's a liaison and doesn't vote because he's not within the city limits.
Correct.
So there's ins and outs there that are different things that we just need to
Look
pay
at the
attention to.
clarification, yeah.
Yeah.
The council representative on planning and zoning votes. You don't vote on the park board, you don't vote on the Board of Public Works, you don't vote on the library board. You do vote on like traffic committee
yeah,
and,
it's just a ad hoc committee.
But you understand my point? We're going back and forth.
Yeah,
so-
airport.
You do.
Yeah.
But legally recognized boards and commissions, you only vote on planning and zoning as a member of the commission.
And that's being why, when Mr. Briggs took it over on P and Z, I made it a point to tell you that night that you are a
vote,
voting member.
Right.
Because nobody told me when I got on there.
Right.
So, first meeting, I'm like, huh?
Okay, thank you. And then I guess I've spoke to him on the phone, but I've never been officially introduced, so Charles, welcome.
Oh, yep, sorry. Go ahead and introduce, Charles is our interim city engineer. And so Charles has been with us for 4 years now, correct? So,
You need to
He's-
update the website because it doesn't have his PE on there. And
I know we need to go
that's
ahead.
very important. I spent a lot of time earning that.
Sounds like Sherry and I got something to review tomorrow on our website.
But without even knowing you, Charles, I appreciate at least answering a phone call and returning a phone call whenever there's issues there. I mean, we get thrown into the mud sometimes, and appreciated a couple weeks ago, so thank you.
This morning, it was easy to get thrown in the mud.
Correct, literally. So thank you for alluding to my next comment, Darren, but what are we gonna do on Studerman Road? Are they gonna
Yes,
repair the whole entire?
they are going to repair the portion that was torn up from the water main repair. So we have added that to the contract for NB West.
Would it be advantageous to wait until we make sure that no more has settled? I mean, there's an ungodly amount of water underneath of that road.
It's still settling.
I mean, it's still settling. I guess
I don't know what the time frame was for them to go ahead and do it. Kevin, if you want to come up and address that.
With the rain that we had last night, it settled more.
Kevin's got so much, while he's coming up here, Kevin's got so much, we talked about this, he's got so much within his budget for street repairs, et cetera, whenever they've got situations like this, and it'll take up the bulk of that.
It'll take all of it and then some.
It's gotta be on the contractor.
No.
It's got to be.
Long story I would not like to talk about right now, but I'll be more than happy to talk to anybody about it. If they want to come by the office, I'll give you the hour and a half version of what happened. So, but we need to pave that one as soon as we can because of the traffic volume on it. Any other road, I would say, keep adding cold mix to it. They're going to come in tomorrow, they're going to mill it down, and they're going to put 2 inches of asphalt over top of it. We'll then watch it and see if anything else settles. What happened there was the water actually just washed the rock out from underneath the road, is what happened. Where you're seeing the settling at is where we had to actually dig and fix the repair, so that they will repack again before they pave it, make it tighter. So that's why you're seeing the settling it's actually on the south side.
Right.
Yeah. So, plan is for tomorrow. Road will be down to 1 lane on each side. That's all we can do. They don't want to shut it down, they want to keep it open, so it'll be open, they'll mill one side, pave it, they'll mill the other side and pave it.
Okay. Other questions or comments? Okay.
City Attorney's Report, public vote on whether or not to hold a closed meeting to discuss personnel, legal, and real estate matters pursuant to Section 610.021 RSMO 2000. Reed?
Yes.
Briggs?
Yes.
Holtmeyer?
Aye.
Patke?
Sure.
Coulter?
Yep.